Hello and welcome to your English news broadcast live on ERi-TV. We are live from our headquarters at Asmara with your domestic and international news and brief. But first, before the brief, these are your major headlines for this hour. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. The 33rd anniversary of the demise of Nado Command observed. Libya's Eastern administration hands power to interim government. Egypt's Suez Canal blocked by a huge container ship. Welcome to your domestic in brief. I'm Zahra Badouri with your reports. 20 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers and OPD services in Gash Barka Central, Ansaba, Northern Red Sea, and Southern regions as your health report. Out of these, 7 patients are from quarantine centers in Ali Gidr, 3, Adibara, 2, Girmaika 1 and Hajar 1 in Gashbark region. 6 patients are from quarantine centers and OPD services in Asmara Central region. 3 patients are from the quarantine center in Karan, Ansaba region, while 3 patients are from quarantine centers in Qarora, 2 and Ginda 1, Northern Red Sea region. The last patient is from a quarantine center in Mandafara, Southern region. On the other hand, 31 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central 21 and Gashbarka 18 regions have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients to date has accordingly risen to 2,962, while the number of deaths still stands at 8. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 3,183. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 24th March 2021. The 33rd anniversary of the demise of Nado's command that heralded the turning point in the struggle for independence was observed in Afabit town, respecting the guidelines issued to combat the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. At the event, the administrator of the Afabit subzone, Mr. Ahmed Mohammed Noor Jabir, gave an extensive briefing on the heroic feat demonstrated by the EPLF 33 years ago. In his briefing, Mr. Ahmed said that the demise of the Nado command was the result of the 10 years of perseverance and resilience of the Eritrean people and the liberation fighters, as well as the beginning of the end of occupation over Eritrea. The event was featured with cultural and artistic programs as well as planting tree seedlings. It is to be recalled that in a lightning offensive, the Eritrean People's Liberation Front conducted from 17 to 19 March in 1988 at the Nakfa Front, Derg's powerful Nado command, comprising of 20,000 soldiers, was totally annihilated with its sophisticated military hardware. On your final report, the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare branch in Forto Sawa subzone rehabilitated 10 disadvantaged families with livestock worth 10,000 nafa each. According to Mr. Uqba Mariam Takhle, head of the branch office, the beneficiary families were from the Forto Sawa semi-urban center as well as from the administrative areas of Kulantabai, Faydadab and Girmaika. Mr. Uqba Mariam went on to say that the support to disadvantaged families is continuation of the similar program being conducted by the government, the public, as well as other partners. In related news, the National Union of Eritrean Women branch in the Logo Ansaba subzone reported that prize-worthy implementation of charted out programs is being conducted in the subzone. Mrs. Tsagawaini Gabrasilase, head of the Union branch, said that charted out programs including supports to families of martyrs, environmental sanitation, water and soil conservation, as well as control of commandable diseases. Mrs. Tsagawaini indicated that in connection with the 8 March International Women's Day, about 16,130 nakfa has been dispersed to 40 families of martyrs and disadvantaged citizens also. She also said that environmental sanitation activity also has been conducted at the Magharka Health Center. Commanding the initiative, the members of the National Union of Eritrean Women took the administrator of the subzone, Mr. Abraham Hagos, called for reinforced contribution. That was your domestic news. We'll be back with your international after this short break. Stay tuned for more. And on your global report, Libya's Eastern Administration has officially handed over power to a new executive that is meant to unify the war-torn country and steer it towards election late this year. The Government of National Unity, selected through a UN-supported process, is the latest internationally backed attempt to end a decade of chaos in the northern African nation and unite rival administrations. Led by interim Prime Minister Abdul Hamid Dabiba, the GNU replaced both the Tripoli-based Government of National Accord and the parallel Eastern Cabinet headquarters in the Serinka region and not recognized by the international community. Tuesday's handover of power took place in Libya's second city of Benghazi, the seat of the Eastern Administration. Hussein Hayati El-Gotorani, one of the Dabeiba's two deputy prime ministers, and several ministers who had become from the capital, including Interior Minister Khalid Mazin, represented the GNU according to reports. The handover came a week after GNA had Faiz al-Sarraj formally ceded power to the new unity administration. Dozens of vessels are stuck waiting for rescue boats to free the 400-meter-long, 1,312 feet ship, which was knocked off course by strong winds at Suez Canal. Egypt has reported the canal's older channel to divert some traffic unit. The grounded ship can move again. The mishap has created long tailbacks. How about 12% of global trade passes through the Suez Canal, which connects the Mediterranean to the Red Sea and provides the shortest sea link between Asia and Europe. The Everin Given, registered in Panama, was bound for the port city of Rotterdam in Netherlands from China and was passing northwards towards the canal on its way to the Mediterranean. The 200,000-ton ship, built in 2018 and operated by Twins transport company, Evangreen Marine, ran aground and became logged sideways across the waterway at about 7:40 local time GMT on Tuesday. At 400 meters long and 59 meters wide, the ship has blocked the path of other vessels, which are now trapped in lines in both directions. The company has managed the container ship. Bernard Solchet Ship Management has denied earlier report that the ship had already been partly refloated. In a statement, it said that its immediate priorities are to safely refloat the vessel and for marine traffic in the Suez Canal to safely resume. Experts have warned that process could take several days. On your final report, China and Russia have called for a UN meeting to seek international support against EU and US human rights sanctions. They said in a joint statement on Tuesday, that 23rd March, that at a time of increasing global political turbulence, a summit of the permanent members of the UN Security Council is particularly nearly necessary to establish direct dialogue about way to resolve humankind common problems. They added that they oppose the politicization of human rights issues and reject interference in other countries' international affairs. The Western sanction were the law of the jungle, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi also said after meeting Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov the same day in Chinese city of Guilin. Wang, on his part, added that referring to the UN arena, countries should stand together to oppose all forms of unilateral sanctions. these measures will not be embraced by the international community, he added. Wang and Lavrov also discussed crisis in Afghanistan and Myanmar, Iran, nuclear arms, and corona vaccine experts to friendly states. And they are in discussion for China to take part in Russian military drills in Belarus later this year in what could be China's first simulated military confrontations with NATO. The China-Russia meeting took place at the same time as NATO foreign minister talks in Brussels. The EU, US, and other NATO powers 1 day earlier blacklisted a handful of Chinese and Russian officials over grave human rights abuse against the Uyghur minority in China and the LGBTI people in Russia as well. Dear viewers, that is all for now with your domestic and international news in brief. Until we are back with some more news, stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. But until then, thanks for watching for now.